online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Miriam Gonzalez, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah, panties are so annoying. Just joking. Hey, guys.
Hi, AfterBuzzers, and that's how we start tonight's season finale of Girls. Speak for yourselves, ladies. Speak for yourselves.
Panty Sunday, I like that.
Hey there, AfterBuzzers. Welcome to another after show of Girls, the season finale, season 4, episode 10. This episode is called Home Birth, right? Yes, Home Birth. And wow, what an episode this was. We had a home birth, which was rather interesting. Lots of stuff happening with the girls this evening on this season finale of Girls. My name is Miriam Gonzalez. Let's start there.
So much going on.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Girls.
Who am I? Who is this girl to start with? I'm Miriam Gonzalez. You can follow me on Twitter at Miriam L. Gonzalez and also on Instagram at Miriam G1. These are my fabulous co-hosts to my left.
Hi, fabulous co-host. I'm Spicy Mari, guys, bringing you that heat. And you guys can play with my Twitter or stroke my Instagram anytime you want at spicy_Mari.
And I'm Candice Buenrostro. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Candy Buen.
Fabulous. So we are going to start with our little Shoshana this evening. She finally got a job.
Ow! Shoshana is getting employed.
She is finally getting a job and
Falling in love.
doing the one thing.
She'll be in love soon.
First of all, I like how he says that. So she finally gets the job offer, and it's to go do, marketing, which she's, really excited about, doing social media, which she's really good at because she loves emojis and all that kind of fun stuff. And it's in Japan. She goes to lunch finally with the little cutie patootie Scott, and he tells her not to take the job because I'm going to be falling in love with you soon.
Right.
What kind of BS is that?
Well, not even, I thought that it was cute. I thought it was truthful. I appreciated the fact that because you do want to hear the whole don't go speech. Like, you do want your guy to say that.
We do want to hear that.
But at the end of the day, his last complaint was that his previous girlfriend was just like, freeloading. She only cared about like the look and the money. And so for him to say that to Shoshana, I was kind of shocked. I appreciated his crazy request for her to stay, but at the end of the day, like, this is a huge career move for her.
All I kept thinking in my head was, oh, hell no. First of all, you didn't hire me in the first place, and now you're telling me I'm going to hire you, stay.
I mean, the job wasn't a right fit for her, though. Like, admittedly, it wasn't a right fit for her.
No, and now he wants to hire her because he's going to fall in love with her.
And he wants to move her in. He's too clingy. He needs to let her go and do her own thing.
I don't even think it was a clingy thing. I think it was he's excited about somebody. You want them to stay. They're just off to this spring new start of love, and so soon. And so I just think that he was acting emotional and not thinking.
He's too soft.
I don't even think that he was too soft. You guys, I completely read this. I thought that was so cute. It was immature, but I thought it was really cute. And I'm happy that he asked her to stay so that it can be her decision, like her choice. Because if she were to go and not get that request from him to stay, her feelings would have been a little bit hurt. You kind of want him to care more about you and a little bit more than even you care about him, because that lets you know that, the relationship is going where you want it to go, and eventually there would be the commitment and love thing.
It's sweet. And yes, in theory, we all want to hear that as a girl.
Yeah.
But, oh, hell no. I mean, this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
Doing what she has been, trying to she's been trying to get this type of job, her dream job, for quite some time. And this guy who she met during a job interview, who never gave her the job in the first place because it smelled like Badusi.
She didn't deserve the job, okay?
No, she didn't deserve the job, and the job wasn't a right fit, but now he's gonna, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Well, he was just pulling out anything he could to make her stay. But at the end of the day, you know, she's got to choose for herself. She can't base it off of the relationship because, once again, relationships are emotional, and this is a spicy tip for you guys at home. You know, you have to think and do what's best for yourself, because if you make a decision based off of emotions change day to day. If the next day he decides that he doesn't feel like being with her anymore, now she's out of a relationship and a job. Like, this is the one thing that she can control. She can't control the relationship, but you can control your you know, corporate, you know, ladder climb. So this is like the golden ticket. She has to take this. And that bartender guy or whoever was taking over, you know, the shop for Ray was absolutely right. Everything he said.
Hermie's the original owner of
the coffee,
store. And I like what he said. He said,
the
don't...
walker, not the dog.
Yes.
I love that.
And he also said, he goes, don't give the power to your partner. You know, you have to take what's yours. And you want to be with someone who's supportive of all the things that you do in your life, you know, and you called it perfectly. This episode had a theme of independence, and I am all about that. You know, you want to be able to be with somebody that supports everything that you do in life, job, relationships with, you know, your friends, your family. I mean, you want someone that's going to be independent, not codependent, not interdependent, you know, like, go have your own separate life. And then when you come back off the plane, like Hermie said, you want them to be there and support you.
Right.
Not like, no, please don't go. I mean, yes, naturally you want to hear that, but that's not what it's all about.
If you remember, Shoshana was like, well, I'll just be your Tokyo booty call. She already had it in her mind that she knew going to Tokyo, the relationship would end, that this long distance thing isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So I'll just be your booty call. So she knew that that wasn't even on the table, or she took it off the table without even discussing it with him, like, hey, let's try to make this long distance thing work. Who knows how long I'll be there, you know? And it could be anywhere from a year to 2, but if you have a strong foundation in the city before you move, you can make the long distance work. It's starting off in another state that I think makes it tough. If you don't have a plan and a game plan at all when it comes to long distance, it's not going to work.
I don't think long distance works.
Long distance is tough, but you can do it if your game plan is to eventually be back in the same city.
Long distance only works if you're married and plan on moving eventually.
I know,
if you're not married,
they did long distance and they still wind up moving to the same city and getting married. We want to hear from you, AfterBuzzers.
Let us know what you
Tweet
think.
at us at AfterBuzz TV. Let us know if you can possibly pull off long distance. There is that 2 out of 10, okay, that work.
You can also go to iTunes, download us, rate us, tell us what you think, give us 5 stars. Also, you can comment on our YouTube and let us know. Does long distance work? I say no, unless you're married and plan on moving, or like, you know, you're stationed in Afghanistan and coming home from a tour. I don't think it works. And even then,
the military do it all the time.
They do it, and then that also winds up ending up in divorce also. So I just don't think it's going to work. And, you know, for her, this is definitely an opportunity of a lifetime. And the 20-something, especially the young, they're so young. No. Not going to happen.
I agree.
Not going to happen. I mean, this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and, you know, she needs to take advantage of it. And speaking of opportunities of a lifetime, we have Marnie and Desi, who are meeting with the president of a record label, and, you know, they now have another showcase that they're going to, you know, go up for. And so they're at the coffee house over at Ray's and enjoying this. They're in their engagement bliss, so to speak, and speaking with Marcos, who is the record label president, and, you know, they're planning their next showcase. And Desi goes up to pay for their 3 espressos and his free glass of water. And Desi finds himself addressing the fact that there's a little bit of tension between him and Ray. And Ray just lets Desi have it. What did you girls think of that?
Well, do you ladies think the reason Desi didn't show was because of what Ray went off on him about?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that was, Desi not showing up was going to happen one way or another. I just think that it was this opportunity to show how unreliable and how uncommitted he really is to the relationship. That it was exactly what Ray called him out on. And I don't think that it was just what Ray said. I think that's who Desi is as a person. I think that he is a flaky ass individual, and he's a jumper.
And he didn't even try to defend himself, which you noticed on the episode.
I was like, he didn't even have a comeback to that. This guy just ripped a hole in your ass.
Well, I mean, it was obvious that...
Another one.
He has two now. Two. It was obvious because for Ray to point out that he simply just does these things to make Marnie happy, and an example of that is Desi messed up by buying all of that stupid crap for $2,000. How does he make it up to her? He proposes with that cheap ass ring.
Did we still find out where he got that ring from? I still think it's the ex-girlfriend next season. He recycled it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a recycle. But instead of the way that he makes it up to Marnie is by proposing, and that's a cheap way to do it. It's not like, I'm sorry, let me return it, or whatever the case may be. He goes about it in such a crap way, and it's a temporary fix. So for him to call him out on this and then not show up for her during the showcase was yet another example of, like, how are you going to make this up to her? Which I'm glad that he didn't show up.
Oh, me too.
Because this gave Marnie an opportunity to really show what she's made of. Because this whole season, we saw her at the first showcase at brunch, and she ran out because she was being heckled, and this gave her an opportunity to really show what she's made of.
Put her big girl panties on.
Yeah.
And I'm not to say that I don't think that Marnie is going through, which every woman experiences at one point or another, this kind of like timid, weak phase because she used to be a stronger character. She didn't always be this, she wasn't always this weak person. But throughout the course of the first breakup from the relationships to now, she's been in situations, where she has been broken. And so I think now, instead of putting all her eggs in one basket, and instead of depending on this guy to carry her career and her love and her happiness, now she was put in a situation where she had to man the fuck up. And Marnie did that. I think that Ray encouraged that. I think that he was a voice of reason in her ear, like, hey, you're not gonna give up. You're gonna, put your big girl panties on, like you just said.
The show must go on.
And now she found herself again. She was like, no, you're not gonna play the guitar for me because I actually play it really good myself. Like she got assertive and aggressive and confident again, and I saw the old Marnie back. She got her swagger back, y'all.
She did. She had to face her fears and be independent. And, her, in doing so, this is really, I think, going to push her forward in her career and show her, for one, it proved to the record label president that she does not need this man.
Yeah.
She doesn't need him. Mm-mm. And I think that's a great thing.
Another independent.
I do think,
example.
though, if we could get this into predictions, but next season when she finds out that Ray had that little altercation with Desi, and that
she's going to
blame poor Ray, but even though that was the best thing for her,
oh, absolutely,
she's going to go off on it.
It's definitely going to throw some salt in Ray's game, but that's okay. That's not going to hurt her and Ray because they've always had that kind of tension anyway.
And honestly, if somebody loves you enough, it doesn't matter what any of your friends say, they're not going anywhere. So, that right there is a cop-out. If she tries to put that off on Ray, that's not cool.
So friends not going anywhere. Caroline, holy shite. That woman in the bathtub. Let's talk about that.
She really was pregnant, yeah. And when she was shooting the show, she was.
Which is great because that just made that so real.
Painful.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, her nipples are big. I mean, they showed it all this episode. Not that we're not used to seeing, naked bodies floating around on the show, but it was just crazy for them to, they gave us like the whole perspective of the,
we didn't get a vagina shot, so thank you.
But Jessa did.
Jessa got the full vagina shot, but thank you for not showing us her vagina. We have Caroline in the bathtub, and she's determined to do a natural home birth, but it's not going very well. She's got a breech baby, and it's very painful. And every character is now trickling in one at a time, with the exception of Shoshana and Ray coming in. And it's it's just an interesting thing to see. Poor Laird is miserably failing at being the supportive pseudo/husband.
Birth coach.
Yeah. Poor thing. He's like, I wear this ring because it feels good. We find out that they're not really married. But, he wants to play the part of a husband. And she is just laying into him because she's adamant on not going to the hospital. She does not want to go to the hospital. And she, if she doesn't go to the hospital, something really bad could happen.
And I think they weren't prepared, because you were mentioning in the episode, the people that do have the natural home births, they have stuff, like, you have to have stuff ready. You can't just go and get in a tub.
How are they going to even cut the umbilical cord? Like, I doubt they have.
Well, she's a sort of doula. She's kind of a doula.
Okay, but they don't have anything any disinfectant. Like, they don't have anything laid out and prepared. And usually you do hire, like, I don't know what the
midwife.
Midwife, but some type of nurse or something
with us holistic.
To assist. Because anything could happen during the birth where you need that. And then afterwards, do they even know what to do with the baby to make sure that the baby's breathing correctly? Like, there's so much to it, and you're going to put your baby's fate in Laird's hands? Come on now. He doesn't even consider himself a man.
No.
So, and I just hate that he was, reaming himself like that. But I know men get very nervous, and, they get this anxiety when the birth comes along and women lose themselves. And, I'm not looking forward to that day, but
would you do a natural home birth?
Absolutely not. Okay,
Give me the drugs.
And you see, after they wind up not even calling the ambulance. They have it in their head that Waze is closer and the better option. Leave it to Hannah to, you know what I'm saying, to make that executive decision. So they're carrying her to the hospital. Thank God the baby was born healthy and perfectly fine. But I just can't believe they did that.
I like how they're like, she's in a box. She's in a warm box.
And this baby's name, Jessa Hannah. What's the freaking baby's name?
Jessa Hannah Bluebell Schlesinger Sackler.
Yeah, what a name. No, isn't there a poem in there? Bluebell Poem, yeah.
Bluebell Poem, that's right, I forgot.
What a freaking name. Like, that's a tongue twister. That's worse than, us Latinas, we get long names, okay? Because we take both of our parents, but that is a freaking long-ass name. I'm like,
Jessa Hannah Bluebell Poem Schlesinger Sackler.
But I do think the Jessa Hannah part was cute. And you could tell that touched Jessa's heart. Yeah. And she found herself in that moment when she addressed the fact, like, oh my gosh, you named her after me. Well, yeah, you know, the things that you said to us during this moment. And she was like, well, you did more. Oh, she said, I only talked to you. And they explained, well, you did more than just talk to us. So I think, like, that was when the light bulb went on for Jessa. Like, oh my gosh, there's power in my words. I need to be a therapist. I thought that was super dope that she found herself.
Yeah, it was really great. I mean, we've seen in this season, she was able to help a lot of people.
Or kill them.
Or attempt to kill them.
Attempt to kill them.
She's a murderer, no. And, the fact that she was able to do that was really great. And, I don't know, I really liked this episode.
Yeah.
I think it ended on a really sweet note, and we find that at the very end of this episode that Hannah and Adam are now over little Jessa Hannah Bluebell Poem. We'll leave it at that because the rest just gets tongue twisty. And they're having this little moment and talking with the baby, and Adam realizes that he made a mistake.
And he's coming back like all men do. And when they realize it.
Honey, they always come back.
After you and her don't work out, then you realize like how convenient that they're over, and now he's found his moment of clarity. I just think that, had Mimi Rose stayed with him and not revealed that she's a psychotic woman as well.
You call that.
I was just like, come on. Like, he would still be in this dysfunctional relationship with her and holding on to her. He wouldn't have figured out that he belongs with Hannah, but now he has the revelation, now that relationship didn't work out. I just think that was very convenient and selfish of Adam. And I'm so happy that Hannah showed her independence and strength and did what was best for her, as opposed to going with her emotions of, gosh, well, I do miss you too, Adam. It has been hard without you. You haven't been there for me. I'm going through this thing with my father. Like, the normal Hannah would have poured all that out on him and taken him back. not making the wise decision. And in this moment, she finally chose and made a wise decision. Let me take care of Hannah first and not go back to what's comfortable. You know, he left her. He did her so dirty.
Yeah, and the thing that I like that she kept it simple with him and was like, I can't do it. I just can't. Didn't give him an explanation why. Didn't, make it an all-out, drugged, dramatic, woe is me, you did this to me, like, how dare you.
Just flat out, plain and simple.
Right.
I can't do it.
Like, I just can't do it. I'm not going to go there with you again. Like, no. And seeing how she's matured in dealing with the situations overall as from now than before, like when she had a panic attack in the beginning of the episode. Before when she would freak out, she'd do the 7 tick thing.
Yeah.
She'd freak out, with the Q-tips. Oh, thank God, no more of that. and it would kind of escalate into this very not good thing. Where when she had the panic attack, she left the classroom. She went downstairs. Fran Parker, which we see at the end of the episode. Yeah, Mr. Parker, which we see turns out to be her boyfriend.
He rubbed her back. I knew after that rub, I was like, oh, well, she got you back.
The approach that he did was,
it was like that, I'm here for you. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the nice part.
It's sweet and genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but knowing that she's having a panic attack, the approach, when someone's in that state, you have to be really delicate and gentle with them because that feeling is very overwhelming, especially when it's that serious. And so when he was like, is it okay for me to touch you there? That started, that caused some sort of, I don't know, there's a bond that started happening there.
Yeah.
And I think it started even more, maybe it was the last episode when he said to her, look, I don't want your kind of drama. You're
Right.
kind of crazy. I've seen it. I've been there. I've done that. No, thank you. And she was like, no, you think about it. I'll get back to you and you figure it out.
Obviously, he thought about it.
So I think she thought about it, he thought about it, and I think that there's something really developing there. And so for us to see at the end of the episode that they actually wind up being together was really refreshing.
Well, and that makes me want to question, though, is Hannah still the crazy person who he said he didn't want to sign up for? I mean, yes, she's matured like a little bit in comparison to how immature she was, but that she's still the same person. So now is he just, he's admitting to himself like, gosh, well, I guess I do want to go through it again.
I don't know.
He likes the crazy.
Yeah,
You know
can't.
what?
When you like crazy, I'm sorry, you can't, stop attracting it.
I'll say this. Knowing how much she's evolved and seeing how, and I'm not saying she has not changed. She definitely hasn't done a 360.
Right.
But seeing how she's evolved a little bit over time, and I just say a little bit, not like this much, but she's she's had progress. We see that she's been going to therapy. In her therapy session, her therapist is like, who are you? You're handling things differently. Seeing how she's handling her dad being a gay guy, seeing how her mom is, reacting about the situation, how Hannah's handling that. I think that she's growing. She's definitely growing. So is she the crazy that she was with Adam? Maybe a little.
Crazy with crazy just makes more crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a positive thing that she's with somebody a little bit more stable now.
Yeah.
So, hopefully he'll rub off on her and be the supportive lover in her life that she probably needs.
Like
She likes
attracts
the crazy.
like.
But I really just appreciate and it said 6 months later. So that does mean that it evolved over some time. It wasn't just like the next week they wound up together.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate the fact that she didn't go back to Adam. Because for us as viewers at home, it's only been 7 days, last Sunday, since him and Mimi Rose, broke up. And actually, in TV land, it's been longer than that. But for us, it hasn't. So it would have been a really big gulp for me to have to swallow the fact that he jumps immediately from relationship to relationship to relationship, which is super crazy. And I think the biggest thing and biggest reason that Hannah said no, and I'm hoping this is the reason, because this is how I interpret it, was if she were to say yes, that would have showed she didn't have any self-respect for herself. Because for you to take him back after he disrespected you beyond belief, what does that say about you? And I would like to think that Hannah does have some self-esteem, and I think that was a moment for her to showcase it. So I appreciate that being in there, because a lot of us want to go back to that ex because we still love him and
hell no.
want to forgive him for all of his crazy sins. And no, I like that they showed in this episode no when it's really yeah, but she said no.
Oh, hell no. An ex is an ex for a reason.
Yes.
And you don't go back. You don't go back because things don't change. Sorry.
But it's sad how hard Hannah's mom is dealing with this. She's deciding to stay in this relationship. When we talked about this last week, the dad is going to go nuts. Just the way that the mom keeps reaming him. Like, either you're going to stay with him and accept that he's gay. You don't have to remind him every single day that he has ruined your life. We know this. You dedicated all of your life to him. And I think that was another reinforcing message that she was trying to say, good for you, Hannah, you still have your freedom, your independence. I used up all of my youth on this man, on investing into this other person. She sacrificed her life.
Sitting right there, just taking it.
He really is.
But he really did. I'm sorry, he wasted her life. She could have been with somebody that really loved her.
Yeah.
So
she has a right to be angry, but I think they need to move out of that house.
They do.
Yeah.
They need to break
part ways.
up.
They
need to break up is what they need to do. But, when you're that age, when you've already lived your life and, you have a 20-something-year-old daughter, it's like, how do you move on? How do you start over? And that's, I think, where they're at, and that's a difficult place to be at that point, which is why she's letting go the way she's doing it in front of him on the phone with Hannah.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
I mean, yeah. And it's tough. They're hitting probably a cool 60 pretty soon. Where do you date? Are you going to Match.com when you're
Tinder.
60?
Grindr for him. It's Grindr for him. I don't understand.
So overall, you guys would say, are you satisfied with this episode? Do you feel like it, put a nice pretty ribbon at the end? What are you guys thinking?
No, I want to know what happens with Desi and Marnie, and I'm going to have to wait a year.
Yeah. We're going to have to wait a year to find out what happens next.
But do you think they did a good job as a season
I think
finale?
so.
Yeah.
I liked how they ended the season, and I liked the theme, the independence. I liked seeing the characters grow. I liked seeing them, I liked that Ray stuck up for Marnie.
Yeah.
And told Desi.
Put him in his place.
Yeah.
I think next season they should come back as HBO Women. Title the show Women, because they went from girls, and I think now this is their next step as women.
I still think we're going to see a little bit more girly in them because it is HBO's Girls.
No, I know. I was just trying to be clever and come up with another name.
Should we get into some predictions
Yes.
for season 5? Let's do it. Predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV.
So what do you girls think?
I think next season Marnie is still going to be that, and she's going to take Desi back. And I think Ray's good for her. He's doing all this stuff to better himself. And I think eventually, I think they might end up down the line together. But I think right now she still has her heart with Desi, and she's not as grown up as Hannah, where she can say no. She has that self-respect. You did me dirty so many times, and I'm going to still take you back. I think he'd be, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah.
You said Hannah's grown up.
Well, to say no to Adam,
That's a big
step.
It's a very big deal. For any woman to say no to someone who they were so invested in is a big deal. But I disagree with you. I think that Marnie is going to have this, new moment of shine and this epiphany that I can do this without Desi, and her career is going to flourish a little bit from it. And this newfound independence, I don't think that we're going to see him again next season. I think that they're going to write it in there to where Marnie's kind of feeling herself now, and she's doing well. This is just my guess, my prediction.
You guys let us know what you think.
Yeah, I see him coming back. I see her telling him off because she was already sick of him before.
Yeah.
So this is another, another match to the, pile of crap that he's given her. And I don't see her going to Ray. I see Shoshana and Ray.
You still see Shoshana
yes.
and Ray. I thought that they would give us a little bit of that before the end of the week, but I mean, they didn't. She did run to him for his opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah, she did.
Should I take the job for my new love affair, which they don't like talking about? So who are you dating? Who are you dating? You know, she got jealous when he said that he still had feelings for somebody and it wasn't her.
Yeah, but I think it hurts more that it not just that it was somebody else. I think that it's one of her fake best friends. You know, it's too close to home.
Yeah.
I think that's what bothers her more. It's that she knows the person. You know, it's in her pact. It's in her camp.
Yeah. So
I think that's what bothers her more because Marnie is obnoxious. So she's like, her. You know, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I think it's more about who she is. But gosh, I like that you see Ray and Shoshana in the future. You know, maybe she gets him, gives him a call from Tokyo. Like, hey, boo, I need it. I need some of that good Ray D. You never know.
You are hilarious. Jessa, I see therapy being a great thing. For a minute.
Do you know how hard it is to go through therapy? Like to become an actual therapist and become a licensed therapist? That's years of school. Like she's gonna have to go through 2 years of school, then go through getting her licensing. I mean, it's like almost like a year wait for that.
I see her being,
it's like a long process.
Being more of a life coach.
Yeah. I see her just creating a website.
I see her being a life coach.
For $9.99 an hour. Yes, I'll give you relationship advice.
I see her
life advice.
Yeah, I see her hanging out at like Central Park, being like, "Listen, you two, let me give you some advice."
I can see her like emailing clients. You know, on Instagram they have those life quotes. Like, here's your Monday quote of the day.
Yeah, absolutely, Martin. The furthest that Jessa gets is the Instagram page.
Exactly. So, and my hope is that Hannah's parents go their separate ways, and Daddy gets himself a little daddy, a little sugar baby, and Mom, I want her to be happy. That's what I see. And Hannah, I like this guy, Mr. Parker, Fran Parker, for her.
Yeah, so do I. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what happens with them.
And Adam, tough nuggies, tough nuggies.
His film career is starting anyways, so.
Hopefully,
I don't know if we'll see him.
I mean, they may come back around. Who knows? But I like who she's with right now. So I hope that works out. And hopefully she starts to get. Hopefully this becomes like a motivating thing, so that way she can start to develop her. I don't know, maybe writing career and the teaching thing takes off. I don't know, but I'm excited for season 5 to come back around next year because they did get picked up for season 5, which is exciting. Yay, girls!
And if you guys didn't see last week's Scandal, make sure that you guys tune in because she's on Scandal as well.
Yeah, she made an appearance. Yeah, which they were giving a lot of crap about some fake wig that she's wearing. I'm guilty of not watching all of the Scandal episodes, but I have caught a couple, and I'm going to take a look at it and check it out. Anyhow, thank you guys for joining us here for our lovely episode and season finale of Girls Season 4, Episode 10. You can follow me, Miriam L. Gonzalez, on Twitter and on Instagram, MiriamG1. You can follow us on AFTERBUZZ at AFTERBUZZ TV on Twitter.
And you guys can now get some spicy tips every weekend from me on 92.3, which is LA's new radio station. Yay! So make sure you guys tune in to my show. Go to real923la.com for more information. And you guys can play with my Twitter and stroke my Instagram at spicy_Mari, SPICY_MARI.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Candy Buen, CandiBuen, and I will be back in a couple of weeks with the Devious Maids after show.
Fabulous. Also, download us on iTunes. Rate us, comment, tell us what you think. You can also download or comment on the YouTube feed as well. Hi. I won't be back until next year for our Girls Season 5. So until then,
goodbye. We shall miss you.
See you next time. Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.